I'm GON editor Lindsey Thomas, and I'm here on the Flint River with William Collins. This is a nice Flint River shoal bass William just caught on a rebel crawfish. And I'm gonna let William let you show it off.
All right.
How big is that bass?
He's about 1.5 pounds. That's about the average size fish we'll catch here today on the Flint River.
The shoal bass is unique to the Flint and Chattahoochee River drainage. A relative of the red-eye bass, the shoal bass grows much larger than its smaller cousin. It inhabits the rocky shoals of the lower Flint near Lake Seminole, but is also abundant in the shoals of the upper Flint, above Lake Blackshear, in the vicinity of Thomaston. The upper Flint is where William and I fished on May 17th. During the summer, when the Flint runs low and clear, it's easy to wade and fish for shoal bass with everything from live bait to fly fishing tackle.
Takes a lot of stress off of you to come up here a couple times a week and just wade around these shoals. These fish are right off the edges of these rocks, under the ledge. And if you can just about bump the rock when it's coming by, that's a pretty effective way to catch him. Oh!
You hit it right there?
Yeah, right there. I always hate to do that.
Where was he? He was right here in the edge of the current?
And he was right off that rock right there, in the swift water.
Is this about the time of year that they normally spawn?
Yeah, the water temperature is what they spawn by. So we've had an early summer this year. It's gotten hot quick. So that probably started to spawn a little sooner than it normally does.
Well, there's, everywhere you look, there's somewhere to cast.
This little bitty line I use up here, it's like trying to tie something with sewing thread.
What pound test is that?
This is 6 pound, but it's that small diameter line.
Do you think that is line weight?
Yeah,
a
line
critical
weight's
factor?
it's got a lot to do with it, especially how your bait runs.
There he is. Look at there. He hit it right there in mainstream. Not much to him. But he ain't giving up quick.
He hit that worm.
Yep, fluke. I don't even think I can need the net on him. Let him play a little bit.
Well, that shows you right there it's not too stained for fishing.
He hit it on top right there in the main current. Do you fish this slack water up here above these shoals any different, William?
Well, you want to fish it slower because you'll have a lot more time to fish it. And you got to fish it deeper.
We're standing in about 6 inches of water, but how deep is this water over here we're fishing?
You may be standing in 6 inches of water here, but you're probably fishing in 3 feet of water out there, and that's enough drop to make a big difference in the quality of fish you're gonna catch. The bass are laid up in the deeper pockets, ambushing the crawfish as they come down over the rocks. So anytime you can drag it by a rock or come close to it or bump it, then that's a good place to find a fish.
So are they laying along the break here where the rocks stop and that's
right along the edge of it. There's like a shelf underwater, and they'll be up under the shelf of the rocks, out of the current, catching the bait when it comes by.
You switch back to the crankbait?
Yeah, I switched back to the crawfish. I started off with it, and I switched back to it.
Why is that?
I've just had more luck with it up here.
I might have to put back on that crawfish.
They're hitting that plug you got there pretty good. They're just hitting it short.
I know it. They're coming up to the top, swirling on it. Throw back
There's
out
the
there.
old one. I just got the
You
other
got
one.
him?
Oh, he spit the other one. Spit it
Oh,
out.
throw back out there. This is a pretty fish.
Yeah.
Look at this, and he's barely hooked too. From that
Yeah, he
fish.
was trying to take it out of that fish's mouth.
Woo! He ain't gonna come in this net. Look at this. You got that one?
I got this one.
Okay, I got this one. Phew. Pretty fish. Yeah. Well,
Two pretty fish.
I hooked this one. I couldn't tell which one was hooked. There were two fish hooked all over each other. And then that one disappeared. You threw back in, hooked him once, and then hooked him again.
Yeah, hooked the same. Had to be the same fish.
Look at there. Oh,
That's an above average shoal bass there.
nice fish.
That's the way they bite in the fall of the year.
Schooling up like that?
They'll be schooled up like that, and you'll catch 2 or 3 fish at the same one.
Well, he sprayed water all over me. That was a goof.
Oh,
Look at
that's
there.
a good fish. I mean, that's a good one.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they got the
I
net.
believe it is.
I think he's got you fooled.
He's got me
It's not a
fooled.
bad one. Look at
No,
there.
that's not a bad fish. There's no such thing as a bad fish, is there?
Look at there.
That might be a largemouth. I believe it is.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
No, it isn't. That's another one of them shoal basses.
Right there.
That's 3 of them
Right here in this slack water.
right here in the same spot. We hadn't moved 5 inches.
Shoal bass are almost always found in rocky cover, but they will move into the deeper water immediately above and below shoals to feed. These bass had moved up from a set of shoals to feed on bait fish.
That's almost identical.
Oh, that's a good fish.
Good one. Good jump. Look at there. He fooled me. He was coming to me there for a second.
Yeah. They don't pull quite as hard in this slack water either. But that's a good fish.
Look at there.
You want me to try to
Another
net him
one.
for you?
About, looks like he's another about.
Oh, he's about to spit it out too.
Don't tell me that. They are fast, boy.
Yeah, they fast.
There he is.
There you go.
Yep, another one.
That's the best one of the day right there. Biggest fish of the day.
You think so?
I believe so, yeah.
Pretty fish. He's got some
Yeah,
color
it is.
to him. Grab that rod right there.
I sure will.
Yeah, you're right. He wasn't. Look at there. Hardly hooked at all.
No, if he'd have got some slack, he'd have been off.
Now, it's
These
amazing. You wouldn't think a fish that size would pull like that. To look at them, they don't look like much. Well, if we were counting shoal bass of this size, this would be number 15, but we're not counting these. So we've got 14 for the day. 3 of them about 15 inches. One of them was 15 and a half
Yeah.
inches. Good pound and a half, pound and 3/4 shoal bass. So 14 for the day. Pretty good afternoon considering we started at 2:30. Gonna wrap it up here about 8 o'clock. It's getting dark. We want to get off the river. But William, I sure appreciate you bringing us in here.
I've enjoyed the fishing trip.
We had a great time.
I enjoyed it.
For more detailed information about how and where we caught our shoal bass and how you can go too, see the article in the June issue of Georgia Outdoor News.